Hey everyone, and welcome back to Brooke's Books. I'm so sorry I was MIA last week. Let's just say my technology decided to take a vacation of its own. And this week, while I'd love to be on camera, a pesky eye infection has other plans. But the show must go on. So I've put together a fun Canva video episode for you all about Twice Loved by LaVyrle Spencer and the wonderful world of book boyfriends. So let's dive right in. Let's dive into Twice Loved by the wonderful LaVyrle Spencer. This story centers around Laura and Rye, whose love story begins in their childhood. They share a deep connection, a love that blossoms as they grow. However, Rye, driven by the spirit of the times, goes off to sea, embarking on a whaling voyage. Laura fears that he's lost at sea, which was a common tragedy in those days. And in her grief and uncertainty, Dan, who was also a childhood friend from their past, he steps in and he marries her. 5 years pass, and then in a twist of fate, Rye returns. So now this sets the stage for a truly heart-wrenching love triangle. And what makes this story so compelling is the depth of feeling between Laura and Rye. Their love isn't something that just develops. It's been a bond that's existed since their youth. LaVyrle Spencer masterfully portrays the rekindling of their feelings and the longing and the unspoken emotions that resurface with Rye's return. It's a true testament to the power of first love and the enduring nature of true connection. Now let's talk about the potential frustration that some modern readers might feel. Laura's choices, particularly her marriage to Dan and the complexities of her feelings upon Rye's return, can seem difficult to understand from a contemporary perspective. So we might wonder, how could she move on in the first place? How could she not choose Rye immediately when he comes back? But it's crucial to remember the historical context. Twice Loved is set in the 1800s, a time when societal expectations and a woman's limited choices were vastly different from today. Marriage was sometimes a matter of survival, and the concept of moving on after the presumed death of a loved one was far more complicated. So Laura's decisions aren't simply about romantic love. They're about duty, they're about loyalty, societal pressures, and the emotional realities of the time. It's a true testament to LaVyrle Spencer's skill that she makes us understand, even if we don't necessarily agree with, Laura's choices within the constraints of the era. This book has many highs and lows, as well as twists and turns. So, does Laura ultimately choose Dan, or does she choose Rye? Well, I'm not going to spoil the ending for you. You'll have to read Twice Loved to find out. But what I will say is that LaVyrle Spencer masterfully navigates the emotional complexities of this love triangle. She doesn't offer easy answers, and she makes us feel the weight of Laura's decisions. And whether you agree with Laura's choices or not, you'll be captivated by her journey. Twice Loved is a powerful story about love, loss, duty, and the enduring power of connection. It's a classic for a reason, and if you're a fan of historical romance with depth and emotional resonance, I highly recommend it. And speaking of enduring connections, this book holds a special place in my heart because it introduced me to my very first book boyfriend, Rye Dalton. We all know the allure of the book boyfriend. These fictional men, crafted from words on a page, have the power to capture our hearts and ignite our imaginations. They embody our romantic ideals, offering us a safe space to explore our desires and fantasies. But what is it about these fictional men that we find so irresistible? Is it the fact that they're often idealized versions of real-life partners? Is it their unwavering loyalty and devotion? Their charming wit? Their ability to make us feel seen and understood? The grand romantic gestures? Or maybe it's simply the escape they offer us, a chance to immerse ourselves in a world of pure romance and fantasy. I think it's a little bit of everything. And let's be honest, who doesn't love a good love story? Whatever the reason, book boyfriends hold a special place in the hearts of readers, including myself. But as a writer, they also hold a special place in my heart because I fall in love with them the entire time that I'm getting to know them as I write a book. Now I want to hear from you. Who's your ultimate book boyfriend and why? Let me know in the comments below. I'm dying to know which fictional men have stolen your hearts. Are you team Mr. Darcy? Do you swoon for Jamie Fraser? Do you love a bad boy rock star like Slater Hart? Or maybe you have a more unconventional book boyfriend crush. Don't be shy. Share your thoughts. I'll be reading all the comments and maybe even feature some of your favorites in a future video. That's all the time we have for this week's episode of Brooke's Books. Thank you so much for joining me as we explored the world of Twice Loved and the magic of book boyfriends. I hope you enjoyed this slightly different format. I'm hoping my eye will be cleared up soon and I can be back on camera next week. Although I have to say this format has been a fun experiment. It's definitely given me some food for thought, and who knows, maybe you'll be seeing more of these in the future. In the meantime, please like this video and leave a comment about your favorite book boyfriend, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future episodes. To all you readers out there, happy reading, and to my fellow authors, happy writing. I'll see you next Thursday.